Big shout out to Tommy V in Michigan. He was on fire this morning.
Okay, thank you, Tommy V in Michigan. Yes, sir. If you share my prayers.
Tommy V's on. Yeah, we'll jump over there. How about that?
Okay, I'm sorry, folks. I don't have any information outside of me supposed to be here, so I don't have the case number or anything like that. So you have to call the case.
Okay, calling case number 2405655-101, the people of the state of Michigan versus Stefan Bird Carson. Defendant is being charged with count 1, torture, count 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. Weapons, felony firearm, second offense. Count 3, unlawful imprisonment. Count 5, assault with intent to do great bodily harm less than murder or by strangulation. Count 7, weapons, firearms, possession by prohibited person. Count 9, assault with a dangerous weapon, felonious assault. Count 11, domestic violence, second offense notice, habitual offender, fourth offense notice. Today is the date and time for bond redetermination. Appearances, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Bryn Kurt on behalf of the people, P84009, standing in for APA of record, Tina Moynihan.
Good morning, Your Honor. Neighborhood Defender Service by Cheryl Quick, P83973 on behalf of Stephen Carson. Mr. Carson appears from the Wayne County Jail.
All right, thank you. And Mr. Carson, sir, could you state your name for the record, please?
Stephen Carson.
All right, thank you, Mr. Carson. Today is the date set for a bond redetermination hearing. I would note that bond was intentionally set unaffordable at the original arraignment. We'll start with Ms. Quick. Do you have anything to add as to the bond?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. As the court noted, the bond as it stands is essentially a remand. It is completely unaffordable for Mr. Carson. Mr. Carson is essentially the sole custodian of his 8-year-old son. He's had custody of his son since birth. He has a relationship with his son's mother, and they co-parent together. And he is working full-time. He's created his own film studio, and he has been distributing feature films and documentaries through that. He also does home improvement. He had been working with his sister on some properties. He is a lifelong resident of the city of Detroit. He is not a flight risk. He does have a prior conviction. It is from 1992 in terms of felony convictions. I understand the seriousness of the allegations. However, based on what I have read in the scant discovery that I have, I think there's a lot to be done here in terms of investigation as to the validity and the veracity of what the complaining witness has accused.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Quick. For the people.
Your Honor, the people are requesting that you leave bond as is. I believe it is an appropriate bond given the allegations that we have here. The defendant, after dropping his car off at the 12th precinct where the complaining witness was reporting what had happened to her, went directly over to his sister's, who was the next door neighbor of the complaining witness, Your Honor. Mr. Carson held the complaining witness against her will for over 4 hours, regularly beating her over and over and over again, shoving her head in a toilet, making that his 8-year-old son spit on her, telling his son, "This is how you treat women." Your Honor, he then, during that course of the 4 hours, just outside of the bathroom where he was holding her and beating her repeatedly, was trying to convince himself to actually go through with it and kill her. Mr. Carson's behavior is egregious and extreme, and the prior offenses that he has, Your Honor, and that he has been convicted of are weapons, felony, firearm, homicide in the second degree, and assault with intent to murder. These aren't offenses that lead someone to believe that there is not a risk. The charges that we have here are torture, unlawful imprisonment, assault with intent to do great bodily harm, less than murder, possessing a firearm as a prohibited person, felonious assault, and a second offense and second domestic violence. Your Honor, the complaining witness has been in and out of the hospital receiving treatment, potentially losing one of her senses as a direct result of Mr. Carson's actions. The people believe, Your Honor, that the $2 million, while is unaffordable, is completely reasonable given Mr. Carson's alleged actions, the requirement and need to protect the community, as well as this complaining witness. So I ask that Your Honor leave the bond as is.
Okay.
Your Honor, may I briefly respond? Just because I want to put a couple of things in context.
You can, Ms. Quick, but I need 1 second. Madam Clerk?
You want me to send you the investigator's report?
Yes, please.
Okay, I thought the chief may have given it to you. Okay.
All right, thank you. You can go ahead, Ms. Quick.
So the convictions that Ms. APA Kurt Carson is talking about is that are multiple convictions from one incident from 1992. So there are multiple convictions that arise apparently from one conviction date in October 2nd of 1992. So this is not a long history of offenses that we're looking at here. Also, with regard to the allegations, again, they're just allegations. I have yet to see anything corroborating. I've yet to see any medical records. And so they should be treated as allegations of one person. Certainly, any concerns of Mr. Carson's whereabouts could be resolved with a house arrest tether. He works from home, and so that could resolve knowing where Mr. Carson is and any perceived danger that there might be.
Okay, I appreciate that, Ms. Quick. Just give me a moment to review the report. You said that the conviction was from 1992.
Yes, Your Honor. And
It was
Mr. Bird,
1 second, 1 second. My question is, I heard murder too. I'm assuming, but I can't make the assumption that he's off of parole at this point. Is that correct?
I'm
checking
can look it up,
on
Your Honor.
all this, but I don't find anything. So if you guys have a better way of letting me know.
I don't believe that Mr. Carson is currently on parole.
Give me 1 moment, Your Honor, and I might be able to answer that question.
Okay, and Mr. Carson, I know that you have your hand up, but I'm gonna advise you to speak through your attorney, so hold tight.
You should have the email now, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right, I got it.
I can open this CCH. He's not involved, which means he's been discharged and he's been locked in home, and they don't keep a record anymore. Your Honor, I don't believe that he is still on probation or parole, I'm sorry, for the homicide conviction. But Your Honor, I believe that the bond is reasonable.
So
And
I'm sorry, I'm sorry, Ms. Kent. You gotta give me 1 moment because
Yes, sir.
I gotta read this and I don't want to miss your argument. So hold tight. All right. I've had a chance to review the investigator's report. Miss Kurt Carson, you can continue.
Your Honor, I forgot what I was going to say. It's no worries. Thank you.
Okay, Miss Quick, did you have anything further?
No, nothing further to add.
All right. Today is the date set for a bond redetermination hearing. Bond is currently set at, was it $2 million cash as surety or surety? Haven't had a chance to review the investigator's report as well as hear arguments from attorneys for Mr. Carson as well as the people. I am inclined to keep the bond where it's at. I would note that this is essentially a remand, and that's the point of this extremely high cash bond. These are allegations, as you know, as all I'm reading from is an investigator's report, and I only have what's in front of me to make this determination. I do have a prior, while it's a pretty old case, it looks like prior assault, homicide involving a weapon with a sentence that well extended between 20 and 30 years or 15 to 30 years. While this is an extremely old case, I have to take that length of the sentence into account when making this determination. Here we have a case where the allegations are not only a physical assault, but an assault involving a weapon. At least according to the investigator's report, there were injuries observed by the officers when the complaining witness made the scene as well, which is consistent with the story, including marks on the face, including a possible face print of a weapon that the officer observed, at least according to the investigator's report. There is also indication that there were guns or facsimile firearms at the location on Whitcomb, which I believe where the incident alleged to have taken place, which also corroborates the story. I'm sure there's more to be determined, at least from what I've read. But at this time, I believe that a high cash bond is necessary to ensure the safety of the public at large, particularly the complaining witness involved in this. I would also note, but I would say that there is clear evidence that that Mr. Carson will present a danger if released. I'm sorry, Ms. Quick, did you have your hand up? Or all right, is there anything further? I'm going to continue the bond. I think the next date is before Judge King. Let me give you those dates. 1 second. Okay, next date is before Judge King on April 11th, 2024 at 8:30. Is there anything further, either party?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right.
Not on behalf of defense. Thank you.
All right, thank you. That concludes this hearing.
Thank you.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Byrd, I'll be by to see you again.